Here's our start point on Whitecar Lane, Marton, near Pickering in North Yorkshire. Unfortunately, we're off to a difficult start because the gate's securely fastened with a combination lock, so our only option is to climb it. Here we go. At the top of the hill, the public footpath continues, but there's a barbed wire fence in the way. This barbed wire is fairly slack, so it's not too difficult for us to step over it. By now we should have crossed into that next field, but there's more barbed wire in the way, and it looks as though there's a gate here that might just give us easier access to the field without risking tearing clothes or flesh. Let's see. Well, this is pretty well tied up, so we're going to climb it. Lucky there's been quite a frost here, because that means we're not ankle deep in mud. So we're next onward. Here's where we cross the drainage ditch. It's quite straightforward so far. And looks like this gate opens. Wait. Well, it's just tied shut. So all we need to do is undo the knot and push it open. And then, of course, carefully tie it up again afterwards. That should do that. Yeah, that's all it needed. Okay, so we're through this one. I'll get back to tying this back up now. Okay, it's now straight across this delightful field. Well, having crossed the field, here's the gate that gives us access, or should do, to the other side of the fence stroke hedge. It's tied shut on both sides with twine, which I'm not going to be able to undo, so I'm going to climb it. Once we get to the other side, there's only an electric fence there by the looks of it. Maybe not, maybe it's not an electric fence, but there's no room this side of it to walk down, so we're going to have to go over this, climb over this gate. Then step over this fence, and there we are. Okay, we'll make our way down this field now. We're going to go down here and join the next part of the public footpath that runs on the outside of the hedge. We have to get past this fence. Yes, we have to get past this fence. Quite well barbed wired. So I'll have to get my barbed wire fence kit out. And here it is. If I'd happened to bring wire cutters with me, it would have been perfectly reasonable for me to cut the wire. I hadn't set out deliberately to do that, but so that would have been okay. I just needed it to get past. But I've got my pipe lagging here, which is really quite effective. And we're going to get over that. You should be a bit careful because the spikes can protrude through a bit if you put too much pressure on, but we should be okay. Just need to step as high as possible. There we go. And retrieve the pipe lagging. It's going to come in use again one day, if not today. And right, follow the public footpath along this side of the hedge. Well, now, having reached the end of that field, we have to get through the hedge, which is overgrown, but there is a path almost visible, and over the ditch. Now, one thing I do if I'm going through growth like this is to make sure I've got a hat on because otherwise I can get badly scratched by the thorns. So hat on, secateurs out, and just cut just enough to allow us to get through, and I will stop videoing while I concentrate on this and making sure I don't get any thorns in my eye. Okay, well that's that problem solved. Rucksack's back on, kept my hat on in case of any little scratches I might get. Otherwise, step over the ditch, and here we are. Right, bingo. Okay, next walk diagonally across this field to somewhere near that pile of silage. Now that we're getting to the other side of the field, I can see that gate, well, it looks like our target. It's not actually in this fence. It's on a fence on the other side. So quick consultation on the map. When in doubt, look at the map. Well, we've certainly got to be on the other side of that fence, and there's another gate down there, so we'll stab at that, shall we? It does take us a bit further away, but that fence isn't, we've come past, isn't shown on the map. Now, if we get over here, how much better off are we? Because I can't see a way through that hedge up there. Yeah, well, we did need to be in the first position that we looked at, and it was that I didn't need the pipe lagging for the barbed wire because it got a bit of sag in it. So here we are. Now, next mission is to find a way through that hedge. Well, because of all these standing water, we've had to walk around the edge of the field. The path runs across it, but it's perfectly permissible for us to do that. And we now need to, that tells us, go on this side of that hedge over there. So it looks as though we've got, I'm just going to say we've got an easy way. In fact, we've got a nice ditch that we should try to avoid dropping into, and what looks like an electric fence on the other side. It's wow. See how many faults I get hurdling these. I've got a camera in one hand, which doesn't help matters. I'm going to actually dangle it from my teeth. Right, so the picture might be a bit wobbly. Nice jump, slipping back, electric fence, which fortunately is low enough for us to step over. There we are, right, and here we are. Looks like easy going for a while. Well, easy-ish beside this hedge. Compared with what's gone before, this is perfectly wonderful. A rather not very tempting narrow style, and a step over, which I don't know much about these things, but is it possible that there's a horse rider here who comes along and does a jump? I don't know. This illustrates perfectly why we want to make rights of way available to everyone. Oh, that was lucky. That was a deer. Just leapt out across my path. How about that? 3 deer. See the white rumps? Okay. That really does indicate why we want to make this available. That was just really good luck. But all I was going to say was, it's a beautiful winter's day. The sun's out, fresh air, out in the countryside. Why do we have to fight for these things? see 4 more deer. See them? See the rums? Sorry, this is really zoomed in, so it tends to wobble a bit. Oh. There they are, I'm just keeping still, so I'm trying to anyway. If they see me, they'll move. Hi ladies, have a nice day. We just swung right to stick with Ings Dyke and stick with the public footpath, and before too long we go past this field boundary, we hope, and then find a way to the place where we strike off across the next field. Right, well first we've got to cross the beck again. The dyke, I'm sorry, I keep calling it a beck. It's Ings Dyke. I'll just step across this time. He said, yes I did. Right, into the next field. Now we've now got the dyke on our right. Yep. Right, and just make sure, okay, no problem getting through here. Okay, but we had to strike off across the field to stay on the right of way. I noticed that we've got another crossing of Ings Dyke in store, and I also noticed it had a lot more water in it when we're back there, so this could be fun. We will see. Yes, okay. I'm sure we can do that. That's what happened. I tried to jump with both feet, as I do when I can, just to save my knees. Right, now, yep, off again, across the field. When I saw this gap in the hedge as I approached, I thought it was going to be as easy as they come. A nice way through for a tractor between fields, but for a guess, it's 2 different farmers. Looks here as though that used to be the end, well it is the end of the fence, so this is where I'm quite certain the right of way goes, but I couldn't see, I wouldn't be able to see where I was putting my feet down just there. And I've got barbed wire fence to negotiate. So we'll go here. Actually, this barbed wire looks, you step over the ditch, barbed wire's quite loose, so I just push it right down. I won't need my pipe lighting. And there we are. With any luck, that's Journey's End. Oh, here's the way out onto the public road, which starts just up there. Unfortunately, it's secured with twine, and to be honest, I just can't be bothered. I'll just climb it. And unbelievably, done less than 2.5 miles. Oh. Well, we walked for 1.5 miles along country roads, and now we're on Gallowhead Lane, and about to start a straight run for the car. As you can see, the public footpath sign's been broken off here, and there's a little bit of gardening to do to clear thorns from the stile, so we're going to do that and then carry on down beside this hedge. Well, there's a little bit more work to do with the secateurs than at first it seemed, but that's fine. Walked off beside the field edge, but the stile wasn't quite where the map said it should be, which meant that after following that field edge we've had to strike off across a field to get to the next stile, which is in view now, and I don't think it's going to give us any trouble. How about that? A bridge. Handrail's fallen off, but come on, it's a bridge. Thank you, North Yorkshire County Council. Whoops. And there's the gate into the next field. This is too easy, isn't it? Wow, this is just a doddle. And off across this field. And this is really nice, it's sort of claggy mud. We've got turf to walk on. Sunshine, English countryside, can't beat it. How are you doing, chaps? Sorry I can't feed you, you've got plenty of food there and owners don't like it. So, I know people do, but they shouldn't, should they? Tell them off. Enjoy the sunshine. Just as we were doing so well, just seen the car, although it's dropped out of sight now. This is the very last field before the car, and we've got here a stile that would be impossible if I didn't have the secateurs with me. That would have been very frustrating. So I'm going to get to work on these now. Well, it's taken me about 10 minutes to do the bare minimum I needed, which was to make it safe enough for me to get through. A couple of thorns have been planted directly under the stile. There's no way that's happened accidentally, and just been allowed to grow, and I just had to chop at it. But really it needs somebody with a saw now to make it satisfactory. There's our target, the signpost over there, which requires a trudge over a field. And like so many of these sown fields that we've seen today, there's been no attempt to mark a path and ensure that it doesn't become overgrown. So really, trudge on. Nothing's come easy today, has it? Or very little anyway. Quite a load of mud on my boots. And there's Journey's End. And the illegally locked gate which started this trip. Remarkably, that was only a 5-mile walk, of which 1.5 miles was along country roads. The Ryedale group of the Ramblers has been pursuing these issues for several years, and at the group's prompting, the County Council has served a notice on the landowner responsible for the locked gate. Unfortunately, such problems are not untypical, and at a time when everyone is being encouraged to take healthy exercise, the simple pleasures of the countryside are being denied to us all.